There's a red house over yonder.
Red House. We're here at the Heartland Cafe. We're up here on the stage. I'm Michael James, and I want to say to all the long-time Heartland fans and people who've been coming to this corner since 1976 that Gene Brigman, who was one of the original Heartland team, passed away. And Gene was a wonderful friend and a wonderful co-worker. She had been a labor organizer, and then she put in a lot of years here at the Heartland. And there's a memorial service for her today out there in Oak Park. And I want everyone to keep Gene in their thoughts. Gene Brigman, great member of the Heartland team. Okay, I've got a new friend up here today. I've got Marshall Eames, and he, as I said before, is the Director of Environmental Sustainability at Loyola University. Good morning to you, Marshall.
Good morning, Michael. How are you today?
I'm good. It's great to have you here. I heard a lot about you. It sounds like a great project, sustainability, right here in our community. Why don't we just take off with what is sustainability all about?
Well, there are a number of definitions of sustainability. Probably the most commonly used one is dealing with our needs today without jeopardizing the needs of future generations. We like to think of that at Loyola as being a balancing act between society's needs, the economic needs, as well as the environmental needs of our community.
And how long has this program or your title position been in effect at Loyola?
Well, we started about 2 years ago when the president of the university asked that our Center for Urban Environmental Research and Policy look at the university and assess whether it was a sustainable campus. And so we did an initial assessment, and as a result of that, the president authorized the creation of a new position, which is the position I hold as Director of Environmental Sustainability. That position, I've been in that position now since the first of the year.
Where did you come from? How did you end up in this slot?
It's a long journey from my days in government and in the private sector, and then about 8 years ago, I returned to the academy. I taught at DePaul for 5 years, and then I came up to Loyola and was teaching environmental studies and environmental courses here at Loyola. And when this opportunity presented itself, I jumped at it.
Where do you come from? Are you an Illinois guy, an Iowa guy? Where are you out of?
Well,
we like to know about our guests. Their geography.
I guess that also has been a kind of a twisted path. Originally from Ohio, I grew up in upstate New York, up in dairy country in upstate New York. Traveled through South Carolina and then back here to Illinois, and my family and I have lived here in Illinois now for about 30 years.
Sounds like you have some experience in the agricultural sector, in the sense that you were around dairy farms and certainly some rural areas. Did that give you any appreciation for the environment, for the land, for the trees, for the air we breathe? Where do you think you got your the enthusiasm for being concerned with sustainability and issues around in the environment?
Well, I guess I've always been interested in science, and even though I grew up out in dairy country, I didn't grow up on the farm. I worked on farms, but my family weren't farmers. But I think that growing up in the country, you do develop more of an appreciation for the natural environment than do people who are true urbanites. And I think there is a disconnect between the urban dwellers and the environment. I don't think they realize how their food is produced. I don't think they realize necessarily some of the aspects of energy production. They go to a gas station and fill up their car, or they flip a light switch on, and they don't see the devastation, say, from strip mining. They don't even see the devastation from agriculture. That there's that romantic notion that agriculture is this quaint pastoral occupation. They don't realize the loss of soil. They don't see the displacement of native ecosystems. They don't see that. So I think there is that disconnect now in urban society.
Yeah, and there's a lot more people growing up in urban centers than there were. I mean, I'm up in my 60s now, but I can certainly remember when it seemed like more of the country was rural, and it certainly has shifted. And we've had more and more benefits of technology, and only in recent years has it really come to light in a mass way that there's a lot of problems with the benefits that we think we have through all this technology. So at Loyola, I remember, I spent a lot of time at Loyola, either running on the track or in the gym or just talking with people over the years. But I remember talking to the head gardener one time, and he told me how they had all this stuff growing, because Loyola has just beautiful flowers in the springtime. All of a sudden they're planting them from somewhere. They're not all just coming up. And so I just wonder what your sense is, as someone who worked other places and came to Loyola, the orientation of the university and the desire to address these very serious, complex, important notions of sustainability.
Well, Loyola is a landlocked urban university. Our Lakeshore campus sits on a little more than 30 acres of ground. So we don't have a lot of room to grow. And we have demands for activities, for green space, things like that. So one of the things that you will notice in the next few years as you come back to campus and run on the track or go to the Hallis Center.
They have a little track now.
They've got a little track.
Always been an issue. Where did the real track go?
And no banked curves on that. So that there's going to be a shift from reliance on non-native species, a shift towards using more and more native species. And we're looking at installing rain gardens in some of the areas that don't see active recreation, more native trees, even an effort to perhaps reflect the natural history of Illinois and Edgewater Rogers Park in the types of plantings that we use on campus. So that's one thing that you would see. We already have green rooftops on our new information commons and on the life sciences building, and more as we create new buildings, we're going with green rooftops. We're looking at initiatives that will allow us to do urban agriculture. We're looking at vertically integrated agricultural systems where we'd be growing plants. We'd be using the waste from our dining halls to create compost and energy that we would then use as nutrients in these urban gardens. And so we're looking at a whole variety of changes. Most of these are designed to educate our students, because for an educational institution, especially one such as Loyola, sustainability to us means educating our students, changing the way they think about their lifestyle, getting them to make environmentally sound or sustainably sound decisions about their life. We have this small campus. We have a population on that campus during the day of over 10,000 faculty, staff, and students. We can't even offset the carbon dioxide that they respire on a little footprint like that. But what we can do is get those students to think about those decisions that they make.